Welcome everyone to another episode of Inquiring Minds. I'm Hialeah Comics Bro, and I'm as always here with Conquistadorks-Javi.
What's going on? Thank you for having me, man. Another great Tuesday.
And tonight's guest is Los.
What's up? What's going on, everybody?
What's up, man?
Glad to be here, man. Thanks for the invite, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. It was I was so happy when you were quick. You were quick with the response, man.
Yeah, I was at work and it popped up, and I was like, "Whoa, what?" I was like, "As long as it's 9 o'clock Eastern time, we good." Like, I'm good.
Awesome, man. We got a few people already here, man. Sorry we're late, guys. A little technical difficulties, but we're ready to go. Javi, you want to shout them out? Go for it, baby.
Yeah, man. We got the great members of the community here in the chat. We have Biggie Shack, of course, holding it down. Steve Whiting, glad for you to be here, man. What's going on, Steve? Geeks, Drinks, and Comics. Thanks for joining us. Life with Two YouTubers. I got your package in the mail, so thank you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, Bugs Comics also in the house. Another great member, and who knows, we might be seeing him on Inquiring Minds soon. Bugs Comics. Nice. And Madison, what's going on, Madison? Comic Head 84, the infamous 84. What's going on, man?
Kenny.
Discovery Bay Comics, JB, putting out some great hot books for sale. Go check out his streams. Pope Cerebus the First. Man, we got a packed house. And, of course, Roger Metarog. Thanks for hanging out.
Welcome, everybody, man. Oh, man, that's awesome.
Thanks for showing up, guys. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah, man. I gave a little bit of a heads up today. I was on with Big Will and Disco, and Disco asked who was on tonight, and I said Los, and he was like, "All right."
Nice.
So it's been out a little while. Hey, I just want to shout out everybody, and Madison especially. That's my daughter, man. Hi, Maddie. So let's get this started, man. Los, you know what I want to know, man? You're in Massachusetts, right?
Yep.
All right. Have you been to Comic Book Palace?
You know what? I have not.
What?
I have not been there. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like, you know, things get a little crazy, and you know, the kids have a lot of you know, extracurricular activities. They do a lot of things on the weekend. So we try to like keep them busy. So whenever I get a chance, I, you know, kind of get away and kind of go to, you know, the LCS or whatever. Sometimes try to hit up like a flea market or something. But it's tough to, you know, to get away. You just have to spend some time with the kids and stuff like that. So.
And you just had a new addition to the family, correct?
We did. We just had a little baby boy. So
awesome, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. He's about to be a month old in a couple of days. So
wow.
Yeah, number 3 to the crew, but there's definitely that is it. three is that's it. That was the cutoff. Like I can't go anymore. I mean, I just turned 40 this year, so to try to have another now. Nah, I'm not gonna be that guy who's 65 years old and has like a 2-year-old. And like,
you don't want to be that guy. Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Right,
exactly. There ain't nothing wrong with it, but
it's just not for you, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, dude. So okay, so you haven't been to Comic Book Palace. Do you have a lot of LCSs in your area, or how is it? How is the comic book community in Massachusetts?
It's not bad. Like I have my main one where I live in my town, is so now I'm drawing a blank because I haven't been there in a while. But it's the main one here. They've been here since like 85, I think, or something like that. So they've been here for like almost 30 years or whatever. That's entertainment. Sorry, I completely blanked.
Cool. Are you close to 84? Are you close to where 84 is at? Or?
I'm probably like I want to say like 40 minutes away,
okay,
like that. That's one thing that hopefully I'm hoping that Boston Fan Expo that's happening, I think in August or something like that.
Nice.
Hopefully I can meet up with some of these. I think a few people are going to that. So if I can make it to that, it'd be pretty cool. Like to run into some of these guys. and just kind of mix it up and kind of go on the hunt and find some stuff. So it'd be pretty cool.
Do you go to a lot of cons?
I've been to a few. I've been to the one here in Boston a few times. Been to MegaCon a few times.
Nice.
I think I went to so those two, and then I've been to a couple like local like little ones and stuff like that. Never been to like New York Con or any of the San Diego. Obviously, is like the big one that if you can't sit at a computer for 18 hours and try to get into a room to try to buy tickets is ridiculous. So I'm like, but
is that how
I've been to a few cons.
That's how tickets are for San Diego Con. You gotta.
So you need you need an actual ID, like a member ID, to like the con website or whatever. Like you need a membership. It's a free thing, but it gives you like an ID number. Yeah, it gives you like an ID number, and you need that ID number. They send you an email saying that, hey, this day is the day when you actually have an opportunity to go buy tickets. It's a waiting room kind of thing. So you get in there, you just keep refreshing your page, and then if you finally get into the waiting room, then it tells you what number you are in line to buy tickets. So you can be waiting for a few hours, then you finally get in, and then you're like number 18,400 and something to buy tickets. And the thing is, if one person gets in, if they have like a bunch of friends that they have member numbers, that one person could buy like 25 tickets for everybody. So that's why there's always like a bunch of people trying to get in. And if that one person gets it, he buys tickets for everybody.
Yeah.
So it sells out like so fast because there's people buying like 20, 30 tickets at a time. And just like,
Okay, so you've tried then.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And it's funny because this for next year's the day of the waiting room process was November 16th. That was the same day that I was taking my wife and my kid home from the hospital. Wow. So I was like, there is no way in hell I'm sitting at a computer. And my wife was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? That wasn't gonna fly.
No.
So you were saying you went to MegaCon? Is that what MegaCon is that?
The one a year.
There it is, bro. Dude, it doesn't take long, bro.
Yeah. So I went to it twice.
Nice.
What was this?
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
No. When was this? When was this?
They're usually in like early or like
May usually,
like May or something like that. They're like in a May time frame.
How long has it been though?
The last one I went to was probably about 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. So
that's the last one I went to.
No.
That's the big one we're going to this year. That we're just. Javi, I got my tickets just the other day, dude. I went and pulled the trigger, so I already got my tickets.
Are you going next year, Los?
Nah. I would like to, because I there's so many people that are actually going, and I would like to. Just funds are a little tight right now, and
you got a lot going on, man. You got
so I mean the flight and everything, hotel stay, whatever. Man. It gets a little pricey, so I'm like, the Boston one is, obviously I can just drive there, so it's not that bad. It's just a ticket price, but I definitely would like to go back again because it's a massive con. Like it's a nice con.
That's where me and Javi met this year. We met going to MegaCon, so it was really cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's nice. It's I took my wife there one time, and it was just like overwhelming to her because the amount of like people and crap and everything that's there. She was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this again." It's just way too much for me.
It's overwhelming, man. It's we didn't even get to see the whole thing. We were just staying in the comic book section. We just went one day.
Yeah. If you go one day, it's tough because you need to just like plan out the exact thing you want to do. You're probably not going to be able to see any panels.
No.
If you're there for like hunting, that's it. If you're there for signatures, that's it. Like that's pretty much all you're going to do. Unless you want to try to do everything, you need to go all 3-4 days or whatever. But yeah, it's tough. I just went to Terrificon this a couple months ago, and there was a bunch of people there I wanted to get some autographs from, and that's basically all I did was wait in line for autographs. I don't even think I got a chance to do any hunting or nothing. It was just nuts. And you're like, this wasn't even a real like big con. You know, it's not like one of the larger ones. And I'm like, why is it still so crazy? And like, this is nuts.
The comics are hot, man. Those cons and all those any con, people just love them, man. Yeah. It's like a big flea market. It's a big nerd flea market, basically.
Yeah. Pretty much. It's crazy, but I mean, it's cool. Like I said, I ran into a few people there. I ran into Otto from 3 Men in the Basement,
okay.
The man from Beantown, Nemesis Prime. Like, it was a bunch of guys from the area, like Connecticut and stuff. Very Gary Comics was there, stuff like that. So I ran into a few people there and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool.
What do you mainly collect?
You know what? Pretty much everything. I don't really limit myself to like Marvel or DC or indie. It's whatever, you know, tickles my fancy, I guess, if you want to call it. I not too many. Lately, I've been collecting a few runs, like some of the newer runs, like Immortal Hulk or whatever. But because it just gets so pricey, and I just don't have that kind of money, I've been more focused on just like getting key issues whenever I can. If it's a run that I really like, I'll get the entire run, but mostly just like key issues now and stuff like that. That's really what I've been focused on. I just finished my X-Men run that I was trying to get. So from 94 to 143.
Nice. You got the original, well, not the original, but the
Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah, so I got that first Claremont run when we first started. So I have that entire run, but there's only actually what I want the entire run graded. And I have like 10-ish books that are raw that needs to get graded, and then the rest are graded already.
Oh wow!
So then I'll have the entire thing, the entire run graded.
And
so,
it was 94 to 124?
94 to 143.
Oh, you're like more than 66% of the way done then.
Yeah.
More books.
So I have that run, and then the last two books in that run that I really needed was 101 First Phoenix and Giant Size X-Men #1, which in the CGC census, it's part of that run. They added there. So I finally pulled the trigger on that one. I sold a bunch of crap to just be able to get a lower grade copy, because it's just the prices on that book are just insane now.
Right?
Yeah,
crazy.
I tried to weasel it away from my uncle, because he has a raw copy. He has a raw copy of Incredible Hulk 181. X-Men #1. He has like a pretty nice collection. And I tried to be like, hey, it's my 40th birthday this year. You want to pass me one of these books? And he was like, nah. I was like, all right, thanks. That's cool.
Is he the reason you got into collecting?
Yeah. So
it has to be, right?
I think when I want to say 12 years old or whatever, something like that. Basically showed me his run. I had a bunch of books and like in a briefcase, and he whips out all these books and is like, holy shit. And it's just like X-Men #1, Incredible Hulk 181, Giant Size X-Men #1, the entire Wolverine miniseries. He just had like books, and I'm like, holy crap. Like, like some serious books. Like, even, me starting out and being a novice, I knew these were some big boy books. And, these were books that he got off the rack. Like, he bought them when he was young for 10 cents, 12 cents. And I was like, man. And and he gave me my first book, like my first big boy book, which was the Wolverine miniseries #1. Okay. So that Frank Miller classic cover. Actually, this one.
Nice, bro.
It's that same exact one.
So, there's a story behind that. So when I when I moved here from New York, I moved in with a bunch of guys for work. to try to save some money and stuff like that. So, a little pricey to be by yourself. So we all kind of chipped in, pulled together, rented like a house so that at least like 4 or 5 of us could live in it, be nice and cheap. And one thing led to another, and all of a sudden people started disappearing on me. And it was just like, this guy's gone. This guy went back home. This guy quit the company. And we're like, they left me holding the bag for everything. And I'm like, really, guys? Yeah. So like I lost my deposit. I had to get money to find a new place to stay because I couldn't afford that place by myself. So basically I had to sell my entire collection.
Oh, wow, man.
And every single book in it. So my Wolverine #1, my Amazing Spider-Man 129, which at the time was my first like big boy acquisition. It was like the first book that I paid over $100 for.
Wow. Yeah.
And I was like, but I had to, those were the big books to sell the collection because I needed it fast and I couldn't chop it up.
Right.
So I was like, if I put these books out there, like, hey, this collection has this book, has this book, has this book, it sold quicker to get that money fast. And it killed me. It was like the hardest thing I ever had to do. So when I met my wife, like, years later, met my wife and my brother, I think it was like Christmas or my birthday or something like that. They went to the local shop and she went with my brother and she's like, hey, what book you think, Carlos would like? And they had a Wolverine #1 and he was like, yo, get that one. His Wolverine's one of his favorite characters. Get that book. But not knowing the significance of this book to me. Right. So when I got it, I was like, almost in tears, like, holy shit, like, you don't understand like the meaning this book had to me. This was like the first book that I got from my uncle and I had to sell it. Like it hurt. So I got it graded. It came back as a 9.6.
Awesome.
And then I cracked it to get it signed by Chris Claremont, Joe Rubenstein, because they were at Terrificon.
Yeah.
And it came back a 9.6. It stayed a 9.6. So I was like,
thank God.
I was nervous. But I had to get it signed by those two guys, man. But yeah, I mean, and like I said, I cherish that book. I'm like I said, they just didn't understand the significance it had. And when I finally like told them, like, this is why this book means so much to me. It might not be a very expensive book, but to me, it's everything. This is how my collection got started. So to have it back in the collection, and then of course having it from my wife and everything, my brother, I was like, it's perfect, So I was happy to have that back. Yeah, exactly. It came full circle. It came back. I was like, it had to be with me. It's like it knew it.
Yeah.
Your brother knew you. Your brother picked well. Yeah,
he did. So I was like, thank you, man. I was like, appreciate it.
And was that when you started kind of collecting back up again?
Yeah, and then so they got me this, and I started getting back into it. My brother is more of a reader than a collector. Like he used to get runs just because he liked to read the stories. Mm-hmm. And it got me back into it and stuff like that. And, of course, me getting back into it for so long, I was like so late, but I jumped in and didn't do it the right way. I bought too many variant covers.
They got
books that I should have bought. Yeah. And that's what kind of like it messed me up. I'm back on track now. I'm trying to stay away from. I still buy variants every once in a while because there are some really cool covers.
Yes.
But I'm not as like variant crazy as I was before, and I'm trying to get back to buying, my key issues and the books that I want, especially the ones that I wanted as a kid. Trying to get those and trying to get the collection back without going too crazy, because it can get out of hand. Like my collection is not even as big as some of the other ones that I see on YouTube. I'm like, holy crap. And I show my wife and I'm like, yeah, my room could look like that. And she's like, no, it's not. It's not going to look like that.
Look at Hialeah drew. Look how many books Hialeah has on his wall.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, no, that's not going to happen. Like you see like JD and stuff like that, and you see the books that he has behind him, you're like, holy crap. And it's just like, you just point them out, you're like, yeah, that's big boy book, big boy book, big boy book, big boy. Like, okay. He's like, yeah, that might not be me for a while. So
how long have you been back collecting? How long has it been?
I've been back. I want to say like 11, 12 years now.
Okay, so you've been back for a while.
I've been back for a while. Like I said, I got back and I jumped back in and I seen all these like variant covers and they look so cool and I should have definitely steered clear of those and bought some of the other books that I really should have gotten that now are like tripled in value and I'm like, oh, shit.
Dude, you're not alone, man. You're not alone.
It's like, oh, yeah, like you could have jumped on that book when it was like $150 and now all of a sudden it's like $800. Like, well, that's out for a while. I was like, hopefully, after the movie goes down or whatever, the book kind of like settles down and you can get it back for like $350 or something. But it's just like,
it's ridiculous.
No.
The spec game.
I've seen your books, man. You got a lot of big books. Is there one that you really got your eyes set on, man? Is it that you said you got the giant size, right?
Yeah.
Did you get ASM 129? Did you get one of those again?
I did.
Nice.
I did. I found one. Like I said, I sold a bunch of like variants and a bunch of other books.
Yeah.
And I found one like randomly. It's a like mid-grade.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it has a little tanning to it, so the color doesn't pop as much. But I'm like, I just wanted it back in the collection.
Yeah.
And I think I got it for a pretty good price because I didn't buy it like on eBay or anything like that. I bought it on another like Hip Comic or something like that, Hip Comics or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's another like auction place. And I mean, nobody was bidding on it. It was, I'm like, yep. It's like, I got the money for it. I'm buying this thing. So I got it for a pretty good price. It's like a 6.0 or something like that. But I was like,
dude, a 6.0 is perfect, man.
Yeah, I was like, that's where my wheelhouse is at right there. That 6.0. I'm like, I'm good. I'm like that 9.0, 9.2s. I'm like, yeah, no.
It sounds like we collect a lot of those.
Yeah, I'm like,
a lot of like.
When it comes to like the Silver Age books and like some of these like older books, if it's a 2.5 and it's complete and the cover looks complete, it's not detached.
You're thinking about a book that came out 40 to 50 years ago.
Exactly.
Imagine that. It's paper, it's like
So to me, like,
and it's been handled too.
Oh yeah. I'm not one to be like, oh, I need this book at a 7.5, and it's like,
no,
it came out in 1963, and I'm like, you gonna pay a nice little premium for that? I'm like, yeah, no, I'm just happy to have it. As long as it's complete, I'm happy. It's complete. It looks nice.
It looks nice, yeah. As long as it presents well and it's a price you can pay.
That's it. I'm
good too, man.
Newer books. Obviously new books.
Of course.
If you get anything lower than a 9.6 on a new book, it's just like, that sucks. You know what I mean? But because they're new, there's so many of them. You can find them. But those older books, honestly, I can care less, man. Like I said, as long as it's a complete book, I'm happy. That's why, like, it took me a while to get that X-Men run because most of the collection, most of those books are 9.6s. There's a couple of 9.8s in there, but most of them are 9.6s.
Are you serious?
I think there's a couple of there's a 9.2 sprinkled in there. I think 94 is a 8.5.
Oh boy!
But I got it signed by Chris Claremont and Bob McLeod.
Wow!
So I got a double signed by them, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, it just
that's impressive, dude. Because I got a lot of that run also, and I got them slabbed, but I got maybe a couple of 9.6s and a couple of 9.4s, but everything else is like in the 8s, 9s.
Yeah.
I even got a 6. I think the lowest one I got is a 6, and I am perfectly happy with my run, man.
Exactly. I think my 101 I think is a 6.0, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm happy with it. My giant size X-Men is a 4.0.
It's perfect, bro.
I don't care. I was like, I got it. That's all that matters. And like I said, the other books, the reason why I was able to get, because some of them I bought already graded, like 9.6 and stuff like that, but I bought them 10 years ago. So they were way cheaper than they are now.
Right.
You can get a 9.6. I bought a couple of them for like $30, $35. Wow. When now they're easily going for 140, 160, and it's just like, yeah, no, I'm glad I bought it at 35.
It's nice when you get in early, right?
Yeah, because I'm definitely always late. I'm always late to the party. I'm like, oh, hey, it's like, oh, that's the book I wanted, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, now
it's a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, now it's a whole bunch of money. I'm like, oh, I'm late on that one. Yay! Like I can't do spec books, and I'm always late on spec book because it's just too much research and too much time, and I don't have that kind of time.
Right.
So I'm always late when it comes to those. I think just recently, I think like Comic Tom, they did like some spec books or hot books or whatever.
Yeah,
and they were like Bunker number 1 or something like that. Mm-hmm. It's just like this random book that potentially got optioned for a TV show, and I was like, hey, I bought that in a sidewalk sale for $1. I'm like, woohoo! I finally up on things before it happened. I was like, I mean, other than that, yeah, I'm always behind those things. So that's why I'm trying to just get the runs that I want, books that I want, and just not worry about jumping on spec books stuff like that. Because unless you're planning on flipping them really quick, spec books will kill you because it's a $1 book, a $2 book, then it shoots up to 35, and if you don't sell it in a month or two, then it goes back down to $5, and just like, nah, I don't have that kind of time, and just like, nah, stick with the books that I just want to get, and that's it. And that's the thing that sucks is like my next run that I was planning on getting was the original Silver Surfer run.
Oh man!
And because I just wanted that run, it was it was one of Stan Lee said that it was one of his favorite storylines to write.
Yeah,
and I just want that run. The artwork was amazing in it.
It's the square books.
But now all of a sudden they're just like everything is skyrocketing and just like. I mean, I was able to pick up number 4.
Nice.
That classic cover. And again, it's not high grade. Actually, do I have it sitting around? I do.
Show some books off, bro. You got a collection.
So,
ooh.
Like, I mean, it presents well because it's in the Mylar. But
Mylars, bro.
If you can see right there, it's like a little, like a tear, like a 1-inch tear right there on the cover. But again, for
great colors on it though.
Yeah, the colors pop though. Like I said, there's like a little bit of like the stack bend over here on the side, some creasing. But again, I got it for a low price because it's a low grade. But I'm happy because I have it. Like this was one of those books when I was younger. I saw the cover and I was like, I need to have this book just because of this cover. Like it's amazing. Like to my room in here, like I have just a light switch and I have the light switch outlet cover.
Oh, nice, bro.
That's this.
That's awesome.
Just because this, I had to have this cover, but I want to get the entire run. And the other day, I want to say maybe like a month ago, my LCS got an entire run in.
Oh,
and by the time I even called to see if they had number 3 or whatever, gone. They were like all gone. I was like, yep, thanks. that's yep.
But those books are super hot, man.
Yeah. I mean, anything Silver Surfer right now, Silver Surfer, Galactus, any Fantastic Four, everything is, movie buzz is blowing up like crazy and just like, come on. Of course, it's the runs that I always want to get that skyrocket all the time. It was like, it's like I didn't want to get this. I wanted to finish my X-Men run first. I'm like, I'll come back to that. I mean, the Silver Surfer run it's okay, but it's kind of low key. Nobody's really collecting. And then all of a sudden, Fox deal, and I was like, yep, man, there it goes.
Those first 4 are super tough to get.
Yeah,
the other ones you got a chance, but those first 4,
Exactly. I mean, it's just I'm like, and it's one of those things where do you wait on it or do you overpay for it now? You mean, and like again, I can wait. That's one of the things. I mean, I guess that comes with age. Is when I was younger, I need to have it right now. I mean, if I overpaid for it, I didn't care. which was stupid because then, you know, if it loses value or whatever. But now I'm just like, you know what? If I miss it, I miss it. Not a big deal. You know, I'll get it again. Somebody else will have it. I mean, perfect example is that lady right there. If you can see that.
Oh,
So it's the Superman Batman run by Michael Turner. That's the San Diego Comic-Con variant, number 8, the Virgin variant that he did. It's like just Supergirl with like the cape like wrapped around her. It's a cover that I've always let me grab that.
Why don't you go grab that?
Yeah, beautiful book. At first I thought it was that Miss Marvel second print character because of the white and the red.
Oh wow!
And that artist is
Michael Turner.
Oh yeah.
I anything Michael Turner, I'm in. I'm in. Like, and it's just like the little detail, like even like her hair, that one strand of hair going across her face, like the little details like that. I'm like, yeah, no, I always wanted this cover, and it was one of those things where I just never got it. The price was never right. People were overselling it, and it doesn't pop up often. Like on eBay, I had it on Watch, and it doesn't pop up often. And it was funny. It came up, and you know, I put a bid on it, and I'm like, yeah, you know, there's not so many people watching it. I'm gonna put a bid on it, and of course, it went over the price that I was willing to pay for it. And I'm like, nah, I'm out. Literally the next day, I got an email alert. Same book, you know, different seller, same book, you know, near mint condition for like $35 to $40 less than my max bid.
Wow.
And it was a buy it now. I was on it. I jumped on it immediately. I was like, nope.
That's
no
awesome.
Deals. Like, I'm not going to
buy it now.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not going to message them and be like, oh, can you do a little bit? Nope. Buy now. Buy now. I was like, I want it right now. So I was able to get it cheaper just by saying, hey, you know what? I'm not going to go over what I wanted to spend. I waited, and I'm like, you know what? I'll get it again next time. And sure enough, the next day it popped up. I'm like, yes.
That's awesome.
So
that happens to me a lot too, man.
Yeah.
And I had to learn that also. Books come around; they do come back around.
And you know what it is? You get that what was it? FOMO, that fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Damn, if I don't get it now, I'm never gonna get it. And it's like,
right.
No, more than likely you probably will get it. And you know, you don't want to kick yourself and be like, damn, I just paid this much, and then all of a sudden, a month later, 2 months later, you see the same book, same grade, maybe even better, and it's like way less, and you're like, and like you're kicking yourself. You're like, all right, sucks. I just overspent this damn book. Like, so I mean, that's one of the things that I, you know, over time, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Don't go crazy. It'll come back around again. You know, try to save up some money or something like that, sell some books, whatever you need to do, and you know, kind of come back.
Who dat comic?
Who dat?
Yeah, he says he has a Silver Surfer 3 for sale in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He also mentioned earlier in the chat how he remembers how you were like back in the day, early days. You were in his YouTube, you know, leaving comments on his videos and stuff like that. So he was really appreciative of that, man. Yeah,
no, definitely. I mean, I remember who that. I mean, I jumped on, and like I said, I've been on YouTube not as like a content creator putting out, you know, content, but I've always like watched people's videos and stuff like that. I just never commented. I always felt like maybe I liked the video or something like that, but I never put a comment because I was like, oh, nobody's ever going to respond to you and stuff like that. If I write something, nobody's going to write back. And, you know, I took a leap one time and I'm like, hey, you know, I wrote to, I think it was like Reggie or something like that, or Thanatos, and or even Chris from We Love Comics. And I kind of like wrote on one of their videos and they all wrote back. They all responded. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay. Yeah. Nice. And, you know, and then, you know, from Reggie's, Reggie did a contest. This was when I think he was like at his 500 subscriber or whatever it was. It was a low number. And he put out a contest saying, hey, just make a video while you collect comics. And I was like, damn, like I could do that, you know. And I told my wife, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna enter the contest. And that was like my first video. And then after that, you know, I did a couple more. Javi, Comic Books NYC, was one of the first people to like comment on the video and stuff like that. And he's like, dude, you know, keep it up, man. Like, do more videos. He was like, you know, at the beginning, I felt like a little nervous and I was like a little tight, but then again, my rambling went on, and then I kind of just like loosened up, and I was like, and I'm like, I looked and I'm like, oh, this video is like 30 minutes. All right, I'm gonna cut this off right here. It was like, I've been talking way too long. So, but yeah, no, like I said, he one of the first people to comment and stuff like that, and
awesome.
Since then, I've always supported Javi, went on his channel and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
you out earlier.
There's so many people in this community that, like, again, you don't meet them most of the time. You don't get a chance to meet people face to face because they're all over the place. But just the interaction that you have with them, you feel like you know them. You know, you get to talk to them on YouTube, on Instagram, and all these other things, and you get to know them on a personal level. You get to know more things. You know, John's Comics with Kids, Thanatos. I speak to them through Instagram, and we talk more about like life and kids, stuff like that, than comics. Yeah. Being a dad and doing other stuff like that. So, that's pretty cool to be able to have that, because I don't have, like, I have friends and stuff like that, but nobody that like collects.
Yeah.
Right.
Doesn't get the obsession, I guess, if you want to call it, that we have with collecting comics.
That itch,
Yeah. So that hunt, that going out and finding that book that you always wanted, and you find it in a random ass place for a good deal, and that high that you get from it, like, holy crap, like I got this book finally, and I got it for a good price, and doing that and stuff like that. It's I like it. I love going to like cons and stuff like that, seeing the artists there and trying to get like original art and stuff. Not original art from like Jim Lee or anything like that, because I can't pay $10,000. But getting original art from somebody for like $25, and helping a local artist and stuff, pretty cool. So things like that, and like I said, just meeting so many cool people in this community, and the response that I got, and the fact that I'm even at like over 200 subscribers is still mind-boggling to me, because
isn't it, dude? I still can't believe that crap either, man.
Like, to me, I'm like, because I don't feel like I have the time to have like a regular scheduled show, and things come up and whatever, and you have to help out with the kids or whatever, and the dog and all this other craziness. So to put out something on the regular, like, I commend all these channels that stick to it and they're able to put out content on the regular. Cause I'm like, I don't know how you guys do it. I can't. I jump on whenever I can, and notice like sometimes my live chats, it's just a random time and they just pop up and like, hey, it's me. I'm just showing some stuff and then I'm gonna get out of here. So, I don't have that that channel to put out content. So for me to still have that many subscribers is just like, holy crap, like, thank you. Like, just even if you take 10 seconds, you don't watch the whole thing, but you watch it for 10 seconds. I don't care. Like, you still took the time to click on it and view it for whatever, and then, off to do whatever, but and just like, thank you. It's awesome. So I'm grateful for that. I'm like, wow. Cause my channel was never intended on being monetized or anything like that. I never envisioned being 1,000. I didn't even know what it entailed to be monetized. I just put out a video and whatever happened. So, I mean, I wasn't planning on being like, hey, you need 1,000 subscribers and you need, 4,000 watch hours or whatever. Okay. I was never going to get that anyway. So I'm like, whatever. I'm like, I just put out videos, and if, people want to watch them, cool. You want to sub up? Cool. Like I said, I've never asked anybody to sub me up. The only time is for my contest that I currently have going on now. I felt it was only appropriate to sub me up for the contest. But other than that, I've never told anybody, hey, subscribe, like, or whatever. I'm just like, thanks for stopping by. It's like, if you want to, sub me up, cool. If not, because I think I looked at the analytics and it was like 84% or whatever people that watch my things are not sub to me, and it's just like, okay, that's not your cup of tea. You just didn't want to do it. I'm like, I'm not gonna fault anybody for that and be like, oh no, you need to do this. I'm like, no, because I don't put out content like that. So, you know, if you don't need to, then that's fine. I mean, there's plenty of content out there. There's plenty of great people out there that you can watch, and they put out stuff on the regular. And I'm one of those people that watch them too. So, you know, I'm like, no, I'm good. It's like, it's cool. You know, as long as I get to jump on every once in a while, talk to some cool people, I'm good with it.
It's all about.
That's what it's all about.
Comments right here. Look at these comments.
I'll put the one with
that's what I'm saying. Like I've, you know, Javi, I think I subbed Javi up. You know, he subbed me up. He was like one of the first people to sub me up, and I think I was with Javi since, I don't know. I think before he had 100 subscribers, I think I was subbed to Javi. So I've been watching him with his, you know, the skyscraper panel when he first started, and he wasn't showing his face. He was just showing his books. And, you know, he showed his golden age books and all, and I was just like, this dude has a massive collection. I was like, wow.
Yeah, man.
So, I mean, I remember that and stuff. Like I said, I've known a lot of these guys, you know, since they were in the lower channels, and to see them hitting that 600,000, you know, I'm just like, wow, like, you guys are doing it, because I know I can't. So, like,
man, I think you could, dude. You just got a lot going on, man. You got the young family.
Yeah. I mean,
it's tough.
It is tough. It is tough. I mean, I try to maybe, you know, spitball things and try to think of something that maybe I can do, and you know, to have like a not a weekly show, but maybe like an every other week, or maybe even a month, you know, do one thing a month. So it's on the back burner. I'm still thinking about it. I need to reach out to a couple of YouTubers and see if they're willing to participate. So we'll see. Maybe that's something that comes out next year.
I think you're gonna find some takers if you just reach out, man.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, like I said, the community. You know, you reach out and people are like, hell yeah, let's do it. let's go on. You know, we don't. Let's go and let's talk about whatever.
Yeah, it's like they can't wait to talk about comics.
Bro, whenever somebody sends me an invite or something, dude, I am honored, man. Just for thinking of me, I feel blessed, you know? It means a lot to me, man.
That's how I feel. Like when a couple people, like, you know, when like Kenny reached out to me, John and Alec, like they reached out and they were like, hey, you want to do this? And I was like, me? Like, you guys got the right channel? Like you were looking for somebody else? Like, not, you know, it's like, yeah. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm honored to do it, man. Like, you know, for, you know, not to say like they're that, you know, 10K, you know, 20K channel, but they are larger channels. They're reaching that 1K mark, and, you know, for a comic book channel, that's excellent. You know, that's
mighty, man. That's
and
impressive.
For them to like reach out to me and be like, hey, you want to discuss comics? You want to talk about them? Like, hell yeah. Like, it's like, just go for it, man. I mean, I always feel blessed to be able to do that. So I'm like, I'm grateful for it. You want to reach out to me? Like, yep, let's do it.
Hey, your last video, your JP to his JP's contest.
Yep, the thankful.
Yeah,
that video was awesome, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Like I said, when Javi went on like a few days before I put my video out. And, you know, he's like, yeah, I did my 3 people, but I'm definitely going to shout out a bunch of more people. And that's the exact same idea I had. I was like, damn it. It's like at first, but he got to it. And I was like, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. It was just so tough to only narrow it down to 3 people, because there was so many people that I wanted to thank. And I was just like, and I know, just like Javi, like I forgot a bunch of people, and I'm just like, I'm sorry for anybody that I missed, you know, but it's tough because there's so many people that I wanted to thank, and I was like, you know what, it's a blanket thank you to everybody in the community. You know, even for that person who subbed me up that doesn't even watch anything anymore, subbed me up like a year ago and doesn't watch, hey, thank you. You know what I mean? Because you still haven't cut me off. So like, I'm appreciative for anything I get. So I'm like, thank you, man. So that was a really cool contest, but it was tough. And I know a lot of people had a hard time with it. I I know D-Runk just did his, and it was hilarious. You know, he's like, yeah, my number 1, my number 2, here's my number 3, and then here's my number 3, and then here's my number 3. Because it was so tough to just narrow it down to 3 people. And I get it. I mean, obviously you can't just put 20 people, but it was tough, man. It just like, and you feel bad, and then you think back, you're like, damn it, I could have added this person. Damn it, that person too. Is like,
you did a great job, dude. You did a great job. I think I sent you a message or something, man. You did a great job.
Yeah.
Or I commented on the video.
Yep. Yeah, you did. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was tough, but it was fun, and it was nice that contest is, you know, it's mostly given back. You know, the other person that you put in they're the ones that are going to be entered to win something. And that was the main thing of it, is like, I wanted those people to have a chance to win something. And it was just like Steve, Burke Family 54, when he had his bracket contest, so like the person who won got a chance to go. And I was mad. I mean, obviously Javi, hands down, Javi should have won. He was gonna show.
I'm gonna disagree.
He was gonna show double AF-15s, man. That was his at the end, you know. But Hialeah, you came out with some fire though. I was like, oh my god. I was like,
I'm gonna disagree, man. And I think it was John. Was it John that took him out, or it was D-Runk, right?
It was D-Runk, but it was John who voted against him,
right.
So they wouldn't play him in the next round. I was like, oh, that's dirty.
That is dirty. Wow.
It was so dirty. Kavi should have won that. You're right.
You know, he should have definitely moved on. But you brought out some big boy books, and I was like, oh man. And you know, all the books that every time somebody came out, is like, well, this is signed. This is signed. This is a 7.5. And you're like, oh,
dude, it just felt perfect for me. I was so lucky. I should not have won. There was better books.
No, dude, you came out with some big books, and I was so mad that I felt like in the second round I picked the wrong book, because I went up against, I think, JD, and he had like a Journey into Mystery 115, I think, or something like that. It was like the origin of Loki or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I had my like Green Lantern 76 signed by Neil Adams, and I was like, damn, like, why didn't I not go with that? My Journey into Mystery, was it 112? Like the
first Thor Silver Age, right?
Yeah, it's the first Hulk Thor battle.
Okay.
It's graded an 8.0 and it's signed by Stan Lee.
Oh,
and I'm like, why did I not go with that book? I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you dumbass. And I was just so mad, because my next book after that was my ASM 129. And then my last book was the Avengers #4. First cap. That was my final round.
Yeah, I was about to say, is that an Avengers 4 you got up there?
Yeah, that's my Avengers 4. It's a 6.5 signed by Stan Lee.
Ooh.
Dude, you got some fire books, bro.
That's amazing, man.
It's funny because both of those books I got signed on the same day, and I got to meet Stan Lee, shake his hand.
Wow.
And, you know, he signed them both. And, you know, I mean, it was later on when he was probably, you know, 5 years past when he should have been signing books.
Yeah. Okay.
But to get to meet him, to get to, you know, say thank you and shake his hand and stuff like that, even though the handlers and everything were like, you can't touch him or whatever. And I was like, I don't give a shit. I'm reaching out for it. So I reached out and he shook my hand and I was like, yes. And I was like, wow, thank you, man, for everything you've done, you know, in this community. As much as people want to maybe bad talk him or whatever and stuff like that. And, you know, I don't know the man personally. I didn't know him personally, so I don't know in the background if he was an asshole or whatever, maybe. But, you know, from what I seen and you know, what he's contributed to the, you know, community, you know, you can't, there's a lot of things that probably wouldn't go down if he wasn't the businessman that he was, not just a writer, because I mean, he was a great writer.
It was the
businessman, the business side of it, you know, it wouldn't have gone as far. You know, Marvel probably would have crumbled. You know, everybody's like, yeah, Jack Kirby. Yeah, Jack Kirby was awesome. He was a great writer, great artist, but he wasn't a businessman. That wasn't his thing. He hated being in the spotlight. So when, you had Stan Lee was like, yo, I'll take this. I'll run with this. I'll be that guy who's going to go out there and try to get money for us. And he ran with it. And that's why he got all the kudos. And everybody's like, oh, well, Kirby gets shit on or whatever because he didn't. And it's like, no, he didn't want that fame. He just wanted to write and draw. That was his thing. Like that's what he wanted to do. And so that's what he did, and everybody kind of like shits on Stan Lee because he's like, oh, he took all the credit. And I was like, he didn't, because there's a bunch of, videos out there that you can show that he even said it. He's like, listen, I would be nothing without this man right here. It's like, it was the two of us. It was a combined effort. Yeah, I wrote some stuff and, but he was the driving force behind Marvel. And, he's always given Jack Kirby credit and stuff. So when people were like, oh, I'm like, whatever, man. It's like, no, we needed him. There was a lot of things that wouldn't have gotten done without that man. So comics wouldn't be as big, I don't think, without Stan Lee. So
he was the P.T. Barnum of comics, man.
He was such a good promoter that it spanned not just here, but like overseas. Like people love comics overseas. Like you don't understand how much they love comics. And it was because of him, because he promoted it so well. And, like I said, the industry probably wouldn't be as big. It would still probably be here, but probably not as big as it is now. Because he was that showman. Like he was just like, yo, we're doing it big and this is how we're doing it. And then, the whole Marvel way of, the writer and the artist getting together and actually collaborating to write books instead of just, the artist drawing something and the writer writing it, and they're completely separate. And they're just like, I hand you artwork and just add words to it. Whereas now it's like, hey, we come to an agreement. We'll sit down. We'll draw a storyboard and like, dude, this is how we're going to write it. This is the story that I'm telling, and you draw it how you see it. And they came to that, agreement, and, obviously it worked because you can see the stories and they fit so well together. And like the artists and writers now have that. It's not like a combative art, style. It's now combined. They want to work together. And, even now you can still see it where some artists work really well with some writers. And you can see it. You can see it so well. I think Immortal Hulk is like that. The art style, it might be a little choppy at times, but it blends so well with the writer. Yeah. And you read it and just like, it fits. You're like, yeah. It's like, all right. Even like, I think Silver Surfer Black is the same way. Some people like the artwork is a little trippy, but it fits the story. You read the story and like, it fits. I mean, you should be on acid reading this. So
Donny Cates and Stegman, I think they go great together.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. I mean, and Ryan Stegman is an underrated artist, in my opinion. Like he's a really good artist and he's underrated. Yeah. He doesn't get enough credit because, Donny Cates is writing an excellent story, but the artwork is amazing.
It's phenomenal. It makes that story better.
It's sick. I mean, it's like, man, like, yep.
Yeah, I've been saying that from the beginning.
But his art is amazing, man.
Yeah, he's. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of guys like that. There's a lot of under the radar artists that are really good, but it takes that like one massive variant cover that pops and everybody's like, oh shit, who's this guy? And he's just like, I've been doing this for 10 years. You can kind of go back and look at my catalog and you're like, oh, that was you? You did that? It's like, yeah, that was me.
I don't get the credit.
It's like, so.
Hey, Los, you got an amazing statue behind you. Do you have other statues, or is that like your baby? That's an amazing statue. I think that's one of my favorite statues.
You have that other one behind you. Is that a
so I have that guy. I have my Joker and Harley Quinn. That's like
that's what it is. Yeah,
the Alex Ross cover when he's like behind her holding her. So it's that piece.
I got it.
I have like the little Joker right here. It's like the black and white. I think it's the Jim Lee version. And then I have a couple of like different the Hot Toys or whatever, or the Sideshow toys. And it's like I have like I don't know. Let me see if I can turn the camera real quick. Sorry, it might be a little messy, and hopefully it comes back into focus. Come on. There you go. So yeah, and I have like my Optimus Prime. He's kind of behind this. Yeah. He's kind of behind this beast over here.
Dude, I'm almost scared of you move that, man. Don't touch that.
Dude, this thing, it's surprisingly heavy.
That's
Like,
mad.
it's bowing my dresser here. Like, this cabinet is actually bowing in the middle because it's so heavy. Like, I have to kind of put it more to the side so it has a little more like weight to it. But yeah, it's surprisingly heavy. I picked them like, oh Jesus. Like, okay.
That's a beautiful statue, dude.
Yeah, like I have that. I have my Punisher, and I have a bunch, like a few more that are in boxes that I just never got a chance to take out. Like I have Deadpool, and I have another like a Harley Quinn black and white, a Batman black and white from Jim Lee, a couple of Pop toys. I have this. And show this guy right here because he's kind of hiding too. It's a little Iron Man bobblehead.
Look how cool that is.
So he's supposed to fit in the Hulkbuster suit.
Yeah.
Whatever. He kind of goes in there and he can like flip the helmet on.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I have I have a few other little trinkets and stuff. I have some other like random little things like little Naruto
Nice.
crap. Like I got my little Iron Man Pikachu.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so awesome.
I got a couple little random things. I don't know if you noticed this little Batman kind of it's one of those
What is that?
It's
like one of those things you put your hand.
Yeah, these little dot things that you see.
Oh, okay.
And you stick them together. My sister-in-law made this for me.
No way.
And it's like the Batman, like his
silhouette. Yeah.
And it was funny because my wife, she showed it to my wife, and my wife was like, "What the hell is that?" And the minute I saw it, I was like, "It's Batman." Like, instantly, I saw it. I was like, "That's Batman." You don't see it? I was like, I see it. So, but yeah, she made this for me. I thought it was pretty damn cool. I was like, "Thank you."
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was like, I don't have any. I need to maybe see if I can frame it or something. But for right now, it just kind of
perfect
right there. It was a placeholder for this guy, my Superman 233.
The Neil Adams.
The Neil Adams. So if you can see a little pattern there.
Neil Adams, yeah.
Yeah, so my Neil Adams pattern.
Dude,
man.
Dude, you got an amazing collection, bro.
Thank you.
It seems like you know what you're looking out for.
Yeah.
Like you have a sort of kind of spectrum of the books that you know what you're looking out for, like the artist or hero or the combination of the two. So it's really impressive, man. That's really cool.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I do collect. Like I said, I do collect some runs, but I do like specific artists, specific writers. If there's just a really good story, I'll collect that. I think I have it was like the Avengers versus X-Men series or A versus X or whatever.
Yeah.
That series, I thought it was a pretty good series. And that was one of the runs. I have the entire 12-issue maxi series or whatever, but I have, I think, all of the variant covers, like the sketch covers.
Yeah, the Avengers side, the X-Men side.
Yeah, all those like the 1 for 300 variants, 1 for 100s. I have most of them, and I have most of them graded. And they're either 9.6 or 9.8s.
Nice.
And I remember submitting them because I did it at a show, and this was back when CGC was still doing 25 books on a list. Now that they cut it down to 13 or whatever because they want to charge you an extra $5.
Right, service fee or something.
Exactly, right? Yeah. So each invoice that you put in is $5.
Yeah,
it used to be 25 books per invoice, and now it's 13.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know they did that.
Yes, because I've been submitting books to CGC for a while, and when I first did that, I submitted that entire run, or at least like 13 books of it, or something like that. The color variant and the sketch variant. The color variant of like almost every number, and then I threw in the first 12 issues of the Justice League run that the new 52, it was like Jim Lee did the pencil sketches for all of them, like the 1 for 300 sketches or something like that, 1 for 100. And I have all 12 sketch covers, all the Jim Lee ones. I have every single one of them graded, and I submitted all of them in one thing. And the guy was like, "Holy shit, this is a lot of variant like sketch covers." He's like, "I've never seen this many in one listing." He's like, "This is ridiculous." It's like, yeah. But I mean, Jim Lee is one of my favorite artists. So, collecting in the 90s and stuff like that, that was my guy. Yeah. So, when he went to DC and started doing those, like the Batman, and he started doing all the Justice League. Yeah. I jumped on it real quick. I was like, yep, getting these. So like I said, again, when I jump back into it, that's why a lot of the variants that I have are those. I have a lot of like Jim Lee DC variants. My Before Watchmen, it's a smaller like run, and he did it was called like a lineup variant. So they all look like they're in a lineup, like a prison thing. So they're all just
almost
like
a connecting variant.
Yeah. So, and you can put them like all together. Yeah. And I have all of them except Rorschach is like one of the hardest ones to get. Like I can never seem to find it. And I think one person had it and it was damaged a little bit, and they still wanted like $250. I was like, no, wow, that's not happening. I was like, sorry. But I have like
that come up often.
No, it's a tough book because I think it was a 1 for 200 or 1 for 300 variant. Oh, wow. And that run didn't really sell that much, so they didn't make too many of them. So,
no comic shop is buying 200 copies of Before Watchmen.
Exactly. So I mean, it was one of those things where it's like, what the hell is this? Like, yeah. At the time, even at the time, Watchmen wasn't even that big yet because the movie hadn't come out. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't a big thing. People were like, yeah, I kind of know the graphic novel, whatever, but it's like, this is the story before they were a team, and they were just like, eh. So, again, nobody's really going to buy, 200 copies of issue number 1, other than like some of the larger Midtown Comics maybe or something like that. But nobody was really buying them like that. Yeah. So when you find them, it was difficult to get. And I was like, I scooped up a bunch of them raw, and then got them graded, and they, thankfully came back like 9.6 and 9.8. I think I got like 1.94. But that one I actually bought graded already.
Los, how many slabs do you have, man? Sounds like you have a lot.
I'm not on like TJ level, but I'm trying. But I probably have like, I haven't really counted, but I want to say at least 150 to 200, maybe.
Wow, nice.
This cabinet that's right here is actually all slabs.
All slabs.
Like I have like all slabs, and then I have a couple of boxes over here that are slabs, and I have a bunch of slabs in front of me. As you can tell, I'm just picking them up. But no, yeah, I went a little slab crazy.
Me too. It happened.
And the thing is, like, I know people. Some people like raw books. Some people like graded books. Some people don't like them to be graded. They like them to be able to read them again. And honestly, it's whatever, whatever you want to do. It's your prerogative. If you want to have raw books, so be it. If somebody wants to grade their books, then so be it. I mean, there's really no point in shitting on each other for having what you like. Because I have both. I have a shit ton of raw books, and I have a crap ton of graded books. And sometimes I like them both. It is what it is. But, I know graded books, obviously it's pricey. It's expensive, especially if you send in a lot. So I definitely limit the books that I do have graded are books that I feel are worthy, that, they're actually worth something. Are you going to grade a $2 book? if that's what you want to do, go for it. If it's like sentimental and you're just like, hey, I just want to preserve this. I read this book 437 times when I was a kid, and I just don't want it to fall apart. I want to keep it preserved and get it graded. Then so be it, and because you don't care about the grade, you just want to protect it.
Right.
And I'm fine with that. But for me, it's like I pick and choose which books I would like to get graded. I do have. I again kind of got caught with a little signature bug and kind of went crazy with signatures and getting them graded and getting that nice yellow label. That I definitely need to kind of take a step back. It's
that yellow label itch, yeah.
That and then it's funny because that's my contest is all the books that were raw. I got them signed and then slabbed. They have that nice yellow label, but it was one of those things where some of these artists, I'm like, you know what, I definitely want to get them to sign it. A few older artists in there and writers, some, a little younger, but most of them were, kind of those older guys that, you just never know. There's a couple of, signatures that I've always wanted to get, and now I can't because, they're gone. So, you do what you can, and then you hope for the best. But yeah, I definitely need to take a step back. But whenever I get a chance to, if it's definitely somebody that I really want, I'll go and go after it. But I definitely need to take a step back because sometimes I'm like, when with like 15 books to get signed, and it's just like $20 here.
Yeah, bro, it adds up.
$50 here, and you're like, oh shit! It's like, yeah, that went quick. It was like, it was like, so, but yeah, no, like to each his own. I mean, there's really no wrong way to collect. As long as you're collecting, as long as you're reading, and it's what you want to do, then go for it, man. I'm not gonna hate on anybody. It's the good thing is that you're out there, you're collecting, you're getting books, you're still contributing to the hobby. So either way, graded, raw, whatever, just collect. That's what I say.
I gotta ask you about a book you got behind you because I saw Kenny put up a question that he can't stop looking at that 227. Who signed that book?
The Batman 227?
Yeah.
Neil Adams.
Neil Adams, yeah, man. That's his Neil Adams row. That
was my Neil Adams row. So this is the first book that I got signed. I bought that raw, and I got it signed, and it came back as an 8.0.
Nice.
And then I'd never cleaned it or pressed it because at the time I got it signed, I really didn't know much about that, and I was like,
it wasn't too big good back in the day.
I felt it was going to come back as a mid-grade book anyway. I was like, it's not like a 9.4 or anything. I felt that it would be like a 7.5 or something like that. It came back as an 8.0. So I'm like, yeah, I'm good with that. And then the Green Lantern book, I bought that a while ago, and I bought it graded, cracked it, got it signed by Neil Adams, and it still came back as a 7.5. I bought it as a 7.5. That was one of the books that CGC kind of pissed me off a little bit with the pressing process. I didn't feel like they did a really good job with it. But whatever. I send them some pictures and they're like, oh, whatever. The graders or the pressers didn't feel like whatever would have been pressed or would have been taken out would have benefited the grade. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with it still being a 7.5, but the aesthetics of it would have looked nicer. And that's kind of what I care about. That's what I'm paying for, right? To make it look better. Yeah. So like, just do your damn job. But I was like, yeah, whatever. And then the Superman, I bought that again, graded as an 8.0 and got it cracked and signed, and it came back as an 8.5. So I'm like, all right, I got a little grade bump on it. But when I got the first two signed, and I, seen Neil Adams and I'm getting them signed, and I'm like, yeah, it's like I have my Batman 227 signed by you. I got it signed in MegaCon way back, and then I got the Green Lantern, and he's like, well, now you know what you have to get. And I was like, yeah, the Superman 233. I know, like they don't sell them as a fucking set, dude. Like, you know what I mean? And he was like, well, maybe they should sell them as a set. I was like, yeah, maybe, but they don't. So I'll be back again with the other book, you jerk. Like, it was like, I mean, he was just making a joke, but I'm like, dude, these are expensive, and you're charging me $50.
I think you're a little too touchy there, bro.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, seriously. He's like, I was like, I will be back because I'm an idiot, but you know what I mean? I was like, I need the 3. All right. I was like, all right, fine. Yeah. I was like, but yeah, I just, got my Neil Adams. I mean, the one that I'm still looking for is the 251, the Batman 251.
Okay.
And that, again, that's a book that, I mean, it's always been, average price. But now all of a sudden it seems like that book like skyrocketed and like everybody wants it now. It's just like nobody wanted it before. It's like I feel like now that I want it, everybody wants it. I'm like, yeah, of course.
I think I missed the boat on those books either because I mainly stay to Marvel, and it seems like those are the only DC books that people are looking at, like the Green Lantern, the Neil Adams key cover books, the first Ra's al Ghul. It's all Neil Adams, and those are just going up like crazy.
Oh yeah, and it's I don't know, it's because the covers like
iconic.
The covers just they get you. You're like, you see it and you immediately know it's like that's Neil Adams. Yeah,
iconic covers.
You instantly know them. You're like, oh shit. Like, yeah, I gotta get it. It's like I don't collect DC, but I gotta get that book. It's like it's
at least you gotta try.
You have to. And I think one of the things that kind of gets us to is YouTube and Instagram. I know I've gotten a couple books because I see some people and I'm like,
of course,
son of a damn it, I gotta get that book now. I gotta get that book. It's like I completely forgot about that book, but now I gotta get it because you showed it. It's like damn it.
Or when they show a book that you've never seen and you're like, oh my god, that is gorgeous, bro.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's some people. I mean, my comic shop over Thanksgiving weekend, they sent out an email and they're like, oh yeah, we're getting some books in, and the one book, there's a big book that was going to be a surprise, and they announced it and it's like, oh yeah, we just happened to get an AF-15 graded 3.5 coming to the shop. And you can have it for the low price of $25,000 or $22,000. And I was like, yeah, there's a chance I take out a second mortgage on my house, maybe get this book. And then I was like, no, that's not gonna happen. I was like, if I don't want to get stabbed in my sleep, I was like, yeah, I was like, it's fine.
I gotta say, by your setup, you could tell that your wife supports you, bro.
Yeah, she does. I mean, she doesn't like fully understand the craziness of like, why are you hoarding so much crap? Basically, to her, it's like, this is kind of meaningless. But she knows that it's meaningful to me.
Yeah.
And she definitely allows me to be like, hey, you know what? You could go to that con, you can do this or whatever. She's like, oh, if you want to go to the comic shop this day or whatever, is like, all I ask is you help out with this, with the kids. And then once they're good, you can kind of take off and do what you want to do. So she definitely allows me to do that. And that's awesome. Obviously I wouldn't be able to do any of this without her. So, I'm blessed that she's, understanding of my sickness.
The sickness.
Because
the curse.
It's an illness. I'm sorry. It's a hobby, but it's an illness because
dude, we're addicts, bro. We're addicts. We're addicts, dude.
Yes, there's definitely something wrong with all of it because you get hooked. You get that one book and you just like, I could get another one, and then you see another book, you're like, damn, I always wanted that one too, and and that one too, and that one. Then you're like, oh, that. How much was that? You what? I'm spending what? All right. I'll be back in 6 months. Like I need to replenish. But it's a fun hobby, and the fact that YouTube and Instagram has made it not as lonely of a hobby as it could be. Because again, you know, if we didn't have this, most of the time we're showing this crap to ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. It's just sitting in our boxes, right?
Oh, this is beautiful. It's all my stuff. And then
And that's it.
Hey, check out Bub's comics. He says, yeah, but without YouTube, I wouldn't know about that Michael Turner variant cover.
You know what? That's a perfect example. I've never seen that book. I've never seen that cover. That's gorgeous.
Yeah. Thanks, Bubs. He's like, I would never see it. He's like, and now he's gonna be on the hunt for that.
You know it.
I already wrote it down on my notes.
Nice.
Everybody's gonna be looking for that book, man.
Yeah. Sorry, Bubs. Sorry. Making you spend some money.
That's awesome, man. Hey, what do you think, man? You want to show off some books? You want to wrap things up?
Well, I can. So
it's man, it's getting a little late. I know he's got to work. So
yeah, I mean, I don't get no sleep anyway. So as long as I get like 3 hours, I'm good.
That's me, man.
I'm used to it. But I finally I got all my books back for the contest. I mean, it's over on Friday.
House till the end. Thanks for joining. He said addicted to hoarding.
Yeah, orders.
We definitely are. We definitely are. But at least, you know, we make it pretty. Yeah. It's hoarding, but it's pretty. You know, you get the nice boxes, you get everything set up, and you know, it looks nice. You know, whereas like these other hoarders, it's just piles and piles of crap, and it looks really bad. At least this way, it's like, oh no, there's a method to the madness. You know, we kind of have the organization, but it's a little crazy, but it looks nice.
Yeah. Still madness, but
I'm okay with that. But yeah, man, it's fun. And like I said, you know, having the community be able to, I know some people, you know, maybe feel like it's showing off and you're like, oh, you're just showing off because you got this. And it's like, no, you're not really showing off. It's just you take a sense of pride in what you collect. And you want to show it off to other people that have the same pride. They love showing off their books, and you want to show that you worked your ass off to get this book. And everybody else appreciates it because they do the same thing. You know, you work for it. It's not like, you know, you're handed all these books. Right. You work for it.
Right.
And to work for those books and finally have them, it's a sense of accomplishment. You're like, I need to show somebody this shit. Like, look what I did. I finally got it. And, you know, and I show my wife and she's like,
nice.
Get that out of my face.
Right.
That means nothing to me. It's like, it means nothing to me. But then, you know, you go on YouTube or Instagram and you post it and everybody's like, oh, you got it. It's like, yes. Like, you know, and they feel for you because they know the same thing. You go through that same thing when you finally get that book that you've always wanted. And you're just like, yes. And then you take that moment to suck it in and you're like, yes. And then you're like, the itch is back. I need that next book.
Yeah.
I finally worked my ass off, got this book. Where's the next one?
When's the next one coming?
You know, it's like I'm jonesing. I need the next one. I'm like, it's like you breathe it and you're like, oh yes, this is it. And it's beautiful. You display it for a little while and then I'm on to the next one. I need the next book.
It goes in the box or it goes on the wall, and then you go back to my comic shop and start looking for more.
You're back on my comic shop, eBay. You're just like looking at everything. Like, okay, what's the next book on the list? What's the next book on the list?
Yep.
You start looking at YouTube and you start getting more ideas.
Wow. Yeah, you know, all the time. Like, I get so many ideas. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, yep. Got to get that one too. But yeah, like I said, I mean, the contest that I have is over on Friday. Nice. And it was just like my submission. Like I said, it's not the first time I submitted books to CGC. It was just the first time I did a prediction video. And I just wanted the community to kind of play along because I know we've seen plenty of prediction videos, but it's always other people just making their prediction. And I mean, I know it's not everybody's cup of tea or whatever, but I wanted to do like a full length. You know, you can see what I'm seeing and you can make the grade for yourself as well. And, you know, you put a grade in and you got a chance to win some stuff. So that's what I did. I was like, you know what? Everybody just put the comments in of what you think the grade is, and now you got a chance to win something. You know, you get thrown in to a randomizer, and we'll win some stuff. But like I said, it was just a bunch of books that I got signed, graded. They were all raw books, I don't think it was anything like.
Do you know the grades yet, or you still haven't revealed the grades yourself?
I don't know the grades. I didn't look on CGC. These went to CGC in August.
Wow.
Since August, they got cleaned and pressed and graded. And since August, I have not seen the grades. I have not gone on the website. I haven't looked them up. And then when they came, I had my wife tape them all in the box. So I don't know what they are. I was like,
when did you get them back? When did you get them back?
I got them in 2 sets. I got, because some were modern books, and then a couple were older books, so they were in the value tier, so they take a little longer.
Right.
But I got them all back, and I'll just kind of run through them real quick. So it was like the Birds of Prey.
Awesome.
So number 8, this was like the Oracle, the first time Oracle and Nightwing like went on a date. And it was just one of Greg Land's first covers. I think this was like the 3rd cover he's ever done or something like that. And when I got it signed, like Greg Land, I don't know if his wife or somebody there, they were like, oh my God, like we haven't seen that cover in forever. Everybody's always doing like variant covers of his. And they were like, holy crap. Like they tried to get me to get the like original art print to this. Mm-hmm. And it was like $250. And I was like, can I just do the $10 signature on it?
Right.
And I was like, I can't afford that. But it was beautiful though. Like if I had the money, I would have.
Yeah.
But I was just like, yeah, I can't. And then the next book.
Oh, nice, man.
Oh, yeah.
58. Nice book. First Power Girl. And I got it signed by Mike Grell.
Oh, so wow.
He did the cover. So I got him to sign it. So it was pretty cool. Again, it was another
great book.
When I got him to sign this, he was like, oh man, he's like, I haven't seen this cover in forever. And so it was pretty cool to get him to sign it again and stuff. And, he was, telling me about how like DC wanted him to give her more cleavage, or I think it was his idea to like give her more cleavage or something like that. Like put the circle. And I was like, okay, interesting.
Wow.
And then I just had my Thanos Quest #1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it was signed by Jim Starlin and Ron Lim.
Wow.
They were at the convention, so I got them to double sign it. So
that's a beautiful book.
And these are like Ron Lim. So it's pretty cool to get both of those. So like I said, these are all the books that are in the contest. And
nice.
Avengers #10. So the first Rogue. I got it signed by Chris Claremont and Michael Golden. He signed it right here. I wanted to get it signed by Al Gilrum. He was there too, but his line was ridiculously long, and I was just like, I don't have the time. I'm only here for 1 day.
Yeah. So
it would have been nice to get a triple signed, but it is what it is.
So nice too. Claremont and Golden, so nice, man.
Yeah. So like I said, I was like, I had this book, and I'm like, damn, there was so many people at this convention for this book. I'm like, it'd be awesome. But, I was like, I got 2 out of the 3. I'm like, I'll take it.
I think you're good.
And then my Strange Tales 180. So signed by Jim Starlin because he did everything on this book. Mm-hmm. He was the writer, the artist, like he did everything on it. So got him to sign that. So it was pretty cool. Then the last 2 books are books that this is an artist that I've always wanted to meet. I've always heard so many stories about him, and Jim Steranko.
Isn't he cool, dude?
My X-Men 49, dude. This dude is amazing. Like he is like the ultimate showman.
Yeah.
He will talk about anything. He'll talk about himself. He'll talk about Marvel. He did not care. Like he was so cool. Like he was just bringing up all these random stories. Some lady brought like a book that he literally all he drew in the book on the cover was a hand or something like that. And that was like one of his first published works.
Wow.
And he told a whole story on how it was. And I'm like, Dude, this dude is awesome. I
Did
mean,
he have the suit on? Did he have the suit on?
oh yeah, he had his
He always does.
The hair is like
full
always.
suit, and it was just funny because they were like, you know, his handlers and everything, like, oh, you know, no pictures and all the other crap or whatever, and of course, you know, I was way back in the line, snapped a couple of quick pictures of him. I was like, yep, got him. Like, but yeah, no, really cool dude. Like I said, I mean, the people in the line probably weren't too happy because he was telling these long ass stories, and everybody's like, dude, come on, man, sign the book. Yeah. I got the next person to go see. But it was the last books that I was getting signed, so I didn't give a shit. I was like, I don't care. These are the last 2 books. As long as he signs mine, I don't care.
Yeah.
And then number 50.
Oh, wait, let me see this, man. Wait, wow.
And then he did, you know, with the green
on the X.
Yeah,
logo, man. That's
I was
awesome.
like, dude. I even told him, I was like, you know, this is one of my favorite covers, just because it's not like overly crazy and over the top, and it has a lot of green, but there's a lot going on with it not being all crazy. Yeah, and like the color choices that he made on it is like, it's beautiful. And so I told him that, and you know, he was asking me, he's like, oh, so what's your why is it your favorite? Why do you like it? And that's why I told him, I was like, yeah, I like the green. I like that it's quiet, but it's still, you can see all the noise around her and everything. And he's like, yeah, that's what I was going for. I was like, sure it was. Like, you just copying me, but yeah, no, he was cool as hell, man. Like, he was just a cool dude. Like I said, he talked to everybody, anybody that had any like questions or wanted to know something about it. He was telling me about when he did these books. These were his first X-Men books that he drew, and he wasn't even on X-Men. He was doing like Captain America. He was doing Nick Fury, and the artist that at the time that was drawing X-Men, they had another commitment. They couldn't do something. They couldn't meet the deadline, and they were like, dude, you're one of our guys that is always on time and does everything. They were like, can you draw something for us for these next couple of issues, because our artists are backed up or whatever? And he was like, sure. And he jumped on and like just wrote it, and he's the one that changed the logo.
Yeah,
he changed it to this. It used to be, you know, the tattered one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he changed it to that.
Yeah.
So he's the one that actually changed it. So I was like, all right. But yeah, no, he, like I said, he was a cool dude. He will talk your ear off if you let him. Like he'll just keep on going. But he was such a cool dude, and I'm so glad that I was able to meet him, because that was one of the artists that I definitely wanted to meet. Like, you know, Jim Starlin was cool as hell too, to meet him. Ron Lim was cool as hell. But yeah, it just that was one of the guys I was like, I need to meet Jim Steranko. Like, I've heard so many, you know, stories about like this dude, just like, man, he was just so cool. And again, the dude was a showman. Like, he came in with the 3-piece suit and the hair, and like he looked like a superstar. I was like,
yeah, you look like he steps right out of the '60s, bro.
Yo, he's still there. He's still there. Like,
he's still there. Yeah.
When somebody actually draws a comic book about you, you know what I mean? Because like, was it Mr. Miracle? Is actually it's him. It's Jim Steranko. So Jack Kirby actually drew that character based on Jim Steranko, because
I didn't know that.
Younger, he used to be an escape artist. He was an actual like Houdini escape artist, and then he went on to comics and stuff like that. So he was an actual showman, and that's why like Mr. Miracle is an escape artist. It's based on Jim Steranko. Like, that's his character. So it's hilarious. I'm like, that is awesome. I mean, if I had a Mr. Miracle comic, I would actually get him to sign it, even though he didn't draw it or anything.
Have anything to do with it.
Like, this character is you. Like, you need to put your name on this, man.
Yeah, I did not know that. That's awesome.
I didn't know that. I know Javi loves Mr. Miracle too.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like that. It's based on him. Like, he was an escape artist, and I was like, he drew it on him. It was like pretty cool. It's like, yeah, it's like this dude was into everything. He was into everything. Man. He was like the ultimate showman. I was like, this dude's pretty cool.
Los is dropping the knowledge, man.
just a little bit. I'm not gonna. It's gonna make me feel like I can jump on somebody else's thing, and then I'm gonna be like, just stay quiet, be like, I don't know anything what you guys talking about.
Hey, dude, we've been going for an hour and a half, man. I think we're gonna have to call this. These things.
That's me. It's just,
Oh man.
Oh man, no, it's all good.
my rambling got to me. Like I'm telling you, I started talking about comics, and that's the thing. The passion that we all have for it. You know, most of us can. I'm pretty sure most of us can go on for hours, ad nauseum, and talk about comics. And people that are not in this hobby and don't really get it, they're just like, yeah, I don't feel like talking about this. Like, I don't really care. But you run into people that know it, and you can see it when all these guys went to Baltimore Con, and all the videos and everything that they put out. You can see that that's all they were doing. They were just talking about comics the whole damn time. Like every time they went to dinner or whatever, they were just talking about comics. Like it was just crazy. So I mean that's again, that's the thing that we all love, about this, is you could just talk about anything. You can nitpick, you could talk about the artwork, the writing style, the just, covers or, storylines, anything. It's just, there's so much. And the fact that we have this community now that you can, this outlet to be able to express that. Like I said, when it's a lonely hobby. It could be a lonely hobby, and just reading to yourself and just being like, wow, that was a really good story, and kind of look over and there's nobody else. Who you talking to is like, oh, I was just talking to myself. So, you know what I mean? But to have it here and you have that interaction and other people like, hell yeah, like I read that, and that's a great storyline. And sometimes you can even have those debates where it's like, oh, I thought this was good, and it's like, that was crap. And you're like, really? You thought it was crap? It was like, I thought it was good. And then you can have that conversation, that back and forth, like, okay, well, why didn't you like it? What didn't you take from it? And then you can always be like, oh shit, yeah, I didn't see that part. I kind of just got caught up in this, but now that you mention it, it's like, oh yeah, that kind of was a little, iffy. Like, all right, and then you can also be like, oh, well, they had the good points, and you can kind of maybe like, okay, I can see your point, and you come to that agreement, like, okay, maybe it wasn't great, but it was an average.
It's all good. There's no right or wrong. That's what makes it. There's no right or wrong, man.
Definitely, man.
Anything what you like, and any of the comics, and it's just an amazing hobby, and I'm in total agreement with you, Los, man. It's just amazing, dude.
Yeah, and like I say, I mean, it's it's what you like, it's what you love. We're all passionate about it. Until that day that you're not, and then you're like, you know what, I'm done. I'll sell it all, and I'm done. But until that day, I'm gonna keep enjoying it. I'm still loving the stories. They're coming out with new stuff that's mind blowing. They're changing it now. It's not that stagnant, same old routine. These guys are kind of switching up. These younger guys are coming in here and like, let's change it up. Let's just blow everything up and be like, you know what? Let's go with something different. And it's working. People are like, oh shit, okay. And but yeah, I mean, I love it. I'm hoping that I stay with it, and I stay with that passion and that love for it. And this community is helping with that.
Definitely.
Because I get to interact, with guys like you, and some great people that share my passion and that share my sickness and my craziness. And you can have that back and forth. So I love that, man. And everybody in the chat who comes in to participate and stuff like that, because a lot of these guys in the chat definitely have way more knowledge than I have, and sometimes they drop stuff and I'm like, holy shit, oh damn, I've been collecting for 25 years and I didn't know that shit. Like, nice. Thank you. It's like, I need to go check that out. So it's pretty cool. So I'm definitely thankful for everybody who comes in the chat and comments and stuff like that. So we got, like I said, a great community here and stuff like that, and I hope it stays that way for years to come. So I'm grateful for that, man.
It makes collecting a whole lot better, man.
Definitely. It brings that, even when you have those moments of like, maybe I could take a step back and I'm getting kind of tired, and then all of a sudden you run into somebody and you're like, they start mentioning something like, damn, you know what, I didn't. Let me check that one out, and then you like, Yeah. I need to get back into it. I need to start getting this. Like Mr. Miracle was like that. I knew about him, but I never really read the original, Jack Kirby series. And then I read the Tom King series, that little mini series that he did. And I mean, I thought it was really good. I mean, maybe Tom King's Batman is not the greatest right now, but that Mr. Miracle run that he did, that 12 issue,
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, like this is a damn good series. Like I want to read more on Mr. Miracle now because of that. It was just a really good read. And I was like, okay, I'm digging this character. Like, all right, I need to see more of this character, It was like, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like things like that, I love jumping into those things that I just never read before. I just never had that drive to read it. And then somebody's like, hey, you know what? Maybe you should check this out or whatever. I thought it was pretty good. I'm like, okay, you give it a shot. And then you find something new and you're like, I like it. I want to collect more of that. So there's always those things where you can jump back in and jump into something else. So that's why I love this community that helps out and gives you all these ideas to like pick up something else, because everybody has their likes and dislikes. So you can learn from other people. And I love that.
No, and even when you see somebody get something that not necessarily you like, you still feel joy for them, and you still.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm a sucker for all these like the AOKs and everything that some people get, and I see these books, man, and you can see the genuine joy and excitement, and that they just see these books and then like you almost break down into tears, and you're like, well, here comes the fucking waterworks, because I'm crying now too. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'll let them flow.
Yeah, I don't mind crying either.
No, hell no. Like, I'm like, because that joy, like, it hits me. I'm like, damn, like, I feel like, hell yeah, like, good for you, man. You know what I mean? Like, I feel that genuine passion for everybody. I'm like, yes, that's awesome.
Right, and you see those AOKs, and you're usually the person that's happier is the person that's doing the AOK.
Exactly. That
they're
person
usually happier than the person that's receiving, man. It's just awesome.
You see their face, and you just like they're just like lit up, and they're like, yes. Like, I nailed it. I got that AOK like perfect, because it hits home. Like these people see these books, and you're like, damn, like that's a book that
means
I never thought I'd be able to get, and I got it as a gift. Like somebody went out of their way and was like, you know what? Here you go, man. I know you were struggling to get this. You're a good person. You deserve to have it. And just like, here you go. And you're just like, holy shit. Like the genuine shock. They're like, I can't accept this. Most of the time that's like, no, it's going back. Like, I can't keep this. And they're like, no, it's yours. Like and it's just, I love that. Like, I love seeing that. I'm just like, oh man, like, dude, yes. Like that. We need to see more of that. You know what I mean? And like I said, I tried to, give an occasional AOK and stuff like that. And I want to do more AOKs and stuff when I have, the resources and the fun to do it. But definitely, I definitely want to do that, because there's a lot of people in this community that deserve everything that comes to them. A lot of these people, maybe some people are like, oh, this person doesn't deserve that. I'm like, no, everybody who gets something deserves what they're getting, because they're all great people and they all support one another and stuff like that. So when you see everybody, giving these AOKs, they're like, it's awesome. That's what this is supposed to be about. I mean, this community is a community. We support each other, and when we see that person who's struggling to get something, and you have the means to get it, and you're just like, you know what? I got you, man. And it's just like, you see that, and it's like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Like, all right.
People think it's like when you get invited to a chat or something.
Yeah.
It's just somebody thinking about you, and it means a lot, man.
Oh, hell yeah. Like I said, I got the invite, and like my heart started racing, and it was like, this thing is like 9 hours from now. I'm like, why am I so excited now? I'm like, what is happening? But it was just like that genuine, like, holy shit, I'm gonna do this. Like, somebody asked me, like, yes, like I get to talk forever. Like, yes. It's like, so it was,
on that point, I think
it was great having you, man. Definitely.
I appreciate, just letting me go on about it.
What this show's about, dude.
Man. Thank you.
What this show's about, dude. It's just the show's about you guys, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. And like I said, I appreciate everybody who stopped in the chat. I know I'm really bad at looking at the chat, and
I'm trying to highlight it. Yeah, I'm trying to highlight it.
I'm really bad at that, and I'm sorry. I know there was a lot of comments that I probably missed. Like I said, I appreciate everybody who stopped in and watched and made their comments over that. So that was awesome. Like, I appreciate it because without them, this is not even a show. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter. So I'm appreciative for everybody who stops by and is able to enjoy and watch for any length of time. If you only here for the first 2 minutes and you're like, I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Thank you. You stopped in. You know what I mean? That's all I care about. So I appreciate that, man. And thanks, thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it. Javi, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Of course, man. Of course. It was awesome. It was awesome getting to officially meet and get to know you, man.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I've seen your videos and stuff like that. And it's nice when you can interact with the people, because you feel like sometimes when you're typing something, it's not the same as actually talking to somebody.
Right.
It's not the same. I'm like, it doesn't come off. I'm like, did they get the feeling that I was writing? Did it come off? I need to put more caps or more exclamation points or something? I was like, I don't know. But yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. Thanks, guys, for having me.
No, man. Thank you for coming on. Javi, you got any last words?
Thank you, everybody in the chat. Hialeah, thank you. I have some notes here from Los's great knowledge. So heck yeah, I'll be looking out for some books.
Nice. Yeah, that's what it's about. I get to make people spend some money.
Yeah, you're contributing, right? I just want to thank everybody in the chat, man. The chat was amazing tonight. So many people showed up. I am really overjoyed with this show, man. I'm having so much fun doing it with you, Javi, and man, having great guests like Los. Thank you, guys. Wow, great show,
man. We'll be here next week.
Next week at 9 with another special guest.
Oh yeah, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
But thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Have a great week. Los, your contest ends Friday, right?
Friday. So, it ends Friday, like midnight Eastern time. But, as long as you get it in before I wake up on Saturday,
okay.
And even if you do, because the drawing is probably going to be that Saturday sometime. So, as long as you get it in before the drawing, man, I don't care. Like, I'm not going to be a stickler and be like, oh, shit, you didn't get it.
Yeah. As long as you get it in before
As long as you get it in before the drawing,
yeah.
You're good.
Awesome.
I'll get you in there.
Hey, I can't wait to see the grades that you got, dude. I can only imagine how you must be.
It was so hard. It was so hard, man, because I'm impatient, and I was just like, every once in a while, and I'm like, and it's so bad because you can click on the CGC link.
Yeah, man, and you can see it.
And I'm like, I put my hand up covering the grades, and I'm just like, they're all done. I could just move my hand now and see them. Like, no, go back. It was so hard, man.
Oh my god!
But it's gonna be fun though. It's gonna be fun.
Guys, tune in for that. Look out for it. Great contest. I can't wait to see what you got on the X-Men 50. I'm dying to see what you got on that.
Thank you. I know, man.
But anyway, everybody, guys, thanks for stopping by, taking the time, and be good. And see you guys next week. Be good.